A key toss-up state, and it's a fight involving voter registration. CNN's Mary Snow's in Cincinnati. Mary, Ohio residents may be saying, here we go again. What's going on?
Yeah, well, if some fear a flashback to 2004 when people waited hours to vote, there was a lot of confusion. Here in Ohio, it is bracing for record turnout, but it is also bracing for potential problems. Exactly what kind of problem to expect with newly registered voters in Ohio depends on who you talk to. Democrats are concerned about voter suppression. Republicans fear voter fraud and cite instances such as the Cleveland man who said he registered to vote 73 times.
They just needed the signature, and they told me I wasn't going to get in trouble.
The case is now being investigated. Ohio's Secretary of State Jennifer Brunner, a Democrat, says while counties need to investigate fraud, registration fraud turning into voter fraud is rare.
Between 2002 and the end of 2005, there were only 4 reported cases of illegal voting, which sometimes people refer to as voter fraud.
Brunner became the target of a Republican-led legal battle. It resulted with the federal appeals court ordering she must provide Ohio's 88 counties with a list of newly registered voters whose information doesn't match their driver's license or social security records. Brunner had argued checks are already in place. There wasn't enough time to add a new system, and she feels voters will be penalized. Some election law experts agree.
It could result in a lot of eligible voters being challenged at the polling place and possibly disqualified even though they're really eligible to vote.
For example, a change in marital status or slightly incorrect address such as street instead of avenue could place you on the mismatch list. Republican Ken Blackwell says providing those lists are necessary.
What we don't want is a situation where there's a close election and there's a lot of doubt about the integrity of the system.
And Blackwell should know. In 2004, he was then the Ohio Secretary of State when lines at the polls lasted for hours and provisional ballots remained to be counted after Election Day. Some say there's another problem.
This is an intrinsic problem when you have a partisan elected official controlling the administration of elections, as most states, including Ohio, do.
Now, Ohio's Secretary of State has a deadline of Friday to provide a list of new voters whose names and information doesn't match up with state records, and she estimates at least 200,000 people may be on that list. But she also says she's going to urge counties not to force people to have to use provisional ballots. Wolf?
Mary Snow in Ohio with our Battleground coverage there. Thank you.